Today we're going to be fixing our Samsung washing machine. So listen to what it does when I hit start on normal setting here. It sounds like the pump is trying to work, but it's not, and then it turns off. And all we see is a little clock here. So if that's what you're doing, we'll show you how to get that fixed. This repair will apply to all of these models, WF42H5700A, and all of these ones underneath. Okay, so the pump is definitely making the noise, and in taking this washing machine, sliding it out and looking, we have to access that pump from the front side. So hopefully you can hear that noise, but it's basically the motor trying to pump water in, but it's not successful. One other thing that I tried, I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it did, after a while it turned on, but then it went back to doing its thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off these screws, take off the door, and we're gonna get this front piece off so we can access the motor, which is right here. So unfortunately, you cannot take off the front cover without taking the dryer off. If you have a stacked unit, you have to take this top piece off before you can take the front piece off. So what we're gonna do to start with is we're gonna take these screws out here, and this whole lid will come off. Okay, so that slid out this way. And it'll pop off like that. Okay, so from here, we're just going to remove this tray, push that little button in to slide it out all the way. And then we're gonna take off the screws on the top here. There should be 3 Phillips. Now that these are removed, we're going to remove the tray and just slide it back because it's attached to this front assembly. And this whole thing should just slide back. Just like that. Alright, so now that these are all loose, I'm just going to open the door here. What are you doing, Ralphie? And just like that, as you can see down here, there's just these tabs that slide into these holes. So once you take that loose, we can simply set this on top. And now, as you can see, we have access to these screws that hold this front piece on. Now that we have these off, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this back, and there's a little ring inside of here. So be careful not to damage the rubber. But we're going to get access to that little ring with a screwdriver. Just going to pull it up like this. And we're going to work it out just like that. Just got a little spring there. Set that aside. Next, we're going to slide the rubber boot off of the front cover. So now that we have all of these screws taken off, there is 3 more down on the bottom. So what we have to do to access those is prop it up on something. So we're gonna just lift up the front side here. All right, so down here, now that we have this propped up, as you can see, we've got a screw there. This one was missing. Maybe it never actually had one. There's one here. So we're gonna take these off, and then we should be ready to take this front cover off. All right, so the last thing we need to do is push down on these tabs, and that will allow this whole top piece to slide off. And then we'll have access to this tube back here and our control wires for the door switch. We'll have to remove that. One last thing, our little filter door right here, we need to unhook this little hose, and then that little hose will slide out just like that. All right, so what you can do to basically confirm that this is where the noise is coming from is you can hold the door switch down and power on the system. I just verified that the noise is coming from here. So what I'm gonna need to do is drain the water out of the system. So I have a towel here and we're just gonna slowly let this water drain out. Not sure how much water will be in here, but looks like there's quite a bit. All right, so we've got everything drained. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take these two screws off. There's one Phillips here and one right here. And after those are loose, we're going to push this motor forward or towards the back, this direction. And that will free up that motor to where we could slide it out. Now, before we can fully slide this out, we need to take both of these clamps off. One here and one back here. And then this whole thing will be freestanding. All right, so we've got our new pump here. We're just going to remove this and replace it. It's just three simple screws here. They gouged me at the appliance place, 170 bucks for this motor. If you're not in a big crunch for time, you can get the same one for 30 bucks, but I wanted to get this done today because I just don't have time to fool with it otherwise. Okay, so we're just gonna pop this new one on. Nice tight seal there. So this cover just pops off like that. Okay, so we're gonna make our connections here. And next, what we're gonna do is take the cover. We're not gonna use this one that came with it. And as you can see down here, got these two grooves. We're gonna slip these two notches onto those grooves, and then this will snap into place. So we're just gonna slide this in. Start from the back here, and we're just gonna put our two screws back in. Next, we're gonna put these two hoses back on. Just gonna slide this all the way on. And then we're just going to use our needle nose pliers to put that clamp on there. And same with this one. Just gonna move that clamp back some. Slide this on over all the way. That's where it stops there. This one you can do by hand, just like that. And we're gonna take this hose, put it back on, just like that. Okay, so that is pretty much it as far as attachment points here. We can reverse this process and put our covers back on and everything. And once we do that, let's test it out and see how it goes. All right, guys, moment of truth here. I don't have the top put on yet, but let's see what we got. Fingers crossed. Now, when I first started the washing machine, it didn't make that water sound that it typically makes because there was no water in there to drain. So don't be alarmed if you don't hear the water. Let it go through its cycle. The doors should lock if everything is working like it should, and you should be good to go. Now, as you can see, everything is working like it should, so we are back in business. Well, guys, this was a little bit of a different topic than I normally do, but I thought it might be of help. If you're a DIYer like myself and you like to do repairs on your heating and air conditioning as well, make sure and subscribe to our channel because we have a lot of really good videos
on how to keep your system going, how to make it more efficient, and things of that nature. So until next time, you guys be safe. Later.